Mhm. Hello and welcome to day 55 of 99 Days of Deeper Embodiment. My name is Jason King. I'm just going to pause for a moment and wait for others to join. If you're joining, feel free to leave a comment so that I know that you're here. Otherwise, I have no idea who's watching. I like to know who's here. I like to be able to interact. So today, feeling into what I want to talk about is a particular aspect of embodiment, and that is let me feel into how to speak about this here. Okay, so the way that it wants to be spoken about is but just basically directly calling it disempowerment. What is disempowerment? How does disempowerment happen and why? When I'm embodying, then what the idea of embodiment is to move into my sovereignty. What does sovereignty mean? Sovereignty means that I recognize that I am the source. And so I am embodying my own source connection. When I say I am embodying my own source connection, then what that refers to is recognizing that I am the awareness that is all, and that as the awareness that is all, what it is that I am energizing, as far as ideas are concerned, as far as beliefs are concerned, is what is creating my experience. So let's get really simple on this one, because this is a lot of words. Very simple is that I am the source of my experience, always. So a belief will say that something else, something external to me, is responsible for my experience. That's what a belief will say. And when I am giving energy to this belief, and when I mean give energy to the belief, I mean when I am believing this idea. So to give energy to the belief is to allow the belief to be there. Say, oh yes, that idea is there, and this is true for me. Without dropping it into silence, without dropping it into presence, without recognizing in the moment, oh, that is just an idea, and that idea has nothing to do with me. So a belief is created around it when I move into an identity around it, in the sense that, okay, say for instance, the idea says that you did this to me. You said something about me and that hurt my feelings. You did that. So let's see very clearly. What are the beliefs here? The belief is that there is a you that said something that hurt my feelings, so there is also a me. And this me has feelings that can be hurt by a you. These are the beliefs. And so I am giving power to the idea that there is a you that can hurt me, that can hurt my feelings, that can say something that can hurt my feelings. I'm energizing this belief. And it becomes a belief because I believe it. Hi, Alex. Nice to see you. And so if I pull back, zooming out, and I see, oh, there is a belief here. And this belief says that there is a you that hurt my feelings. There is a you that can say something that hurts my feelings. And there is a me that has its feelings hurt. Okay, let me zoom out. And then as I zoom out, then I can see, okay, there is beliefs here. And I have given a lot of power to these ideas. Zoomed out. I'm looking. And as I zoom out, then what I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, it's possible that these ideas are not true. I'm entering into the possibility that these ideas are not true. I'm entering into the possibility that there's another way to see these, to see these things. So, in the example, you said something about me that hurt my feelings. So now I'm zooming out, and as I zoom out, what I'm saying to myself is, there is the potential or the possibility of seeing this another way. So when I'm really zoomed into the ideas that are there, the idea that says there's a me here, and there's a you there, and the you hurt my feelings by saying something that hurt my feelings, then that is a belief. And I've given a lot of energy to ideas and created a belief around them. Now, when I zoom out, saying to myself, oh, well, maybe there's another way to see this. Maybe there is another way to see what these ideas are telling me. Then I can see things from a new perspective. And I can zoom out very, very far, or I can zoom out a little bit. If I zoom out a little bit, then the ideas may shift to something like this. Oh, wow, look, he had a bad day. And because he had a bad day, he's not feeling so great. And he just reacted, and when he reacted, he wasn't really present with me, and so it was never really about me anyway. See, I zoomed out a little bit. And as I zoomed out a little bit, then I began to feel the perspective of the other. And as I began to feel the perspective of the other, then that expanded my perspective. And as it expanded my perspective, then I was able to integrate more. And as I was able to integrate more, then it wasn't necessarily about a me anymore. So my beliefs expanded. I now believe that there is a you, and that you had a bad day. And that bad day caused you to be reactive, and that it was never really about a me. You see, this is expansion. Jessica says, how can feelings be hurt? This is something that I don't feel pulled to go into right now, because that question is leading into a different direction than what I'm actually talking about right now. Everyone here has had the experience of having their feelings be hurt. So it's not something that I'm talking about in some sort of an airy-fairy sort of way. I'm talking about it very directly. Right? And what I'm showing you is the beliefs around it. How can feelings be hurt is moving in a direction where your mind is taking it to say, oh, well, there is no feelings, there is nothing to be hurt. Wonderful. But is that truly your experience? Is it truly your experience that you're not feeling feelings and that sometimes you're not triggered and that others have never triggered you? Is that honestly what you're experiencing? Because if it isn't, then you know exactly how feelings can be hurt. Feelings are hurt through you believing that there is a you and that you are experiencing those feelings and then projecting that there is another that hurts your feelings. And so now what I'm showing is that you can zoom out, and as you zoom out, you get another view. And the first view that you get as you zoom out is the story of the other. Oh, put myself in their shoes. As I put myself in their shoes, then I begin to feel what it is that they're feeling. I begin to recognize them as myself. Now, there is much further to zoom out. This is just the first zoom out. The first zoom out says, oh, it's not just me here. So this is the first stage. I'm zooming out a little bit, very slightly. And as I zoom out very slightly, then I begin to feel that there's another person here and that they were reacting and that it wasn't really about me. And so this expands my vision. This expands my perception slightly. And as it expands my perception slightly, then what do I see? I see more ideas. More ideas that say, oh, there is a you here, and that you had an experience of a day, and that day may not have been so pleasant, and that caused you to be reactive. But this is more ideas, right? It's a more expanded belief system, but again, it's still beliefs. We're still within ideas here. Okay, so let's expand out more. And as we expand out more, what do we see? We see a timeline of the other. We see my own personal timeline. Okay, well, there's a wound here where my father spoke to me in a certain way, and because my father spoke to me in a certain way, then that created a trauma, and now every time anyone else speaks to me in a certain way, then it triggers that trauma. Okay, I'm expanding out further. And now I can also expand out further into the other. And what do I feel in the other? Oh, yes, there's a wound here where there's your mother, didn't give you enough love. And because your mother didn't give you enough love, then it created a reaction to anyone that might actually love you. And you're not able to receive love. And so now anytime anyone gives you love, then you recoil and you react to that, and that creates this dynamic. Okay, so now notice how I'm zooming out. And as I'm zooming out, the story expands. And as the story expands, what am I seeing? Well, I'm seeing that it isn't really about a me, ever. Okay, so that begins to dissolve. As I expand and I see all the beliefs that are around what arose, then I begin to recognize that it isn't about a me. That idea of a me is what? Just an idea. And as I expand further out, then what am I beginning to see? Wow, there's a lot of story here. There's a lot of belief here. And where are those beliefs created? In memory. In memory. And I can even expand out further, and I can begin to go into collective stories and collective trauma stories of being an American, stories of being Japanese, stories of being in a war many ages ago. Then I can move out even further, and I can go into ideas of being soul. I can go into soul missions. I can go into past lives. There's even more to expand out further, and I can go into planetary conflicts, interplanetary conflicts. I can go into planetary evolution. You know, so there is a way zoomed out view that can be had. And yet all of these are what? Still beliefs. I'm still looking at beliefs here. That's all I'm seeing. So no matter how far zoomed out I get, I'm still looking at beliefs. I'm still only perceiving beliefs. There's only ideas here. And yet notice, as I zoom out, what happens to this idea of me? It becomes quite irrelevant, you see. Because it's never that simple. It's never that simple that there's just a me here and that you heard a me. No. The more I zoom out, the more I see that there is a massive amount of beliefs here. Beliefs that have been created by memory over ages, aeons of memory. So at first glance, oh, you did this to me. You're an asshole. That's the initial reaction. But then as soon as I drop that initial reaction and I begin to investigate, I begin to explore, I begin to open up my mind. Open up my mind means recognize that that initial belief is just a surface level idea and that there's much more to it and that I can see it from a lot of different perspectives from many different people that have lived over many different aeons. And I can sink into all of that. I can see all of those beliefs and I can see how they have programmed my mind and I can see how they have programmed everyone's mind. And so as I begin to zoom out, then this idea of a me that is hurt, that begins to dissolve. There's no me here that's being hurt by anyone else. Hi, Ganja. Nice to see you. Awesome. Thank you for the flower. So, talking about giving power away or having to take back my power, what am I giving my power away to in this illustration? I'm giving my power away to ideas. I'm giving my power away to ideas that have formed beliefs. And so as I zoom out, then what am I beginning to see? The structure of those beliefs. And how much power has been given to them over many lives. So in that instant where I believe that you are an asshole because you hurt me, because you said something nasty about me, then I am giving power to a massive structure of beliefs. in that instant. And that entire structure of beliefs is denying my responsibility in all of it. That entire structure of beliefs that says, this is who I am, this is where I came from, this is what I've experienced, this is what all of my ancestors have experienced all the way back through time. The moment that I believe that, the moment that I give energy to that, the moment that that becomes a belief for me, then I'm energizing a massive structure of beliefs that we have now moved out and begun to touch and see. And you see, this structure of beliefs actually is energizing the idea that there is another that can hurt me, because it's all interlinked and connected beliefs. So if I wasn't energizing this structure of beliefs, then could there be another that could hurt me? No, that would be impossible. It is only through energizing this structure of beliefs that that even is a potential that arises. And so when we talk about taking back our power, what are we taking our power back from? When we talk about being sovereign, what does that actually mean? I am sovereign. Taking back my power means taking back my focus, my ability to focus on what I want to focus on. And so therefore, a belief that is there can now become an idea. And when it is just an idea, then I don't have to focus on it. I don't have to energize it. Where my focus goes is where my energy goes. If I focus on an idea, then I'm making the idea true for me. If I drop the idea and focus on presence, focus on awareness here and now, then that idea can drop into that awareness and dissolve. And now I'm taking my energy back from that idea. It is no longer a belief in my field. It has now dissolved. So to be sovereign, and we are always sovereign, is to recognize this superpower. I have the superpower to see the beliefs and to withdraw my focus from them, drop the ideas that created them into presence, and dissolve them. The more efficient I get at this, the clearer that my mind gets. The less beliefs that are running in the background. Because every idea that comes up, I see it, and I drop it immediately into presence, disbelieving it. And the more that I recognize the presence that I am, disbelieving all of the ideas, the more these ideas then transmute into something that is much more free. Because the structure of the beliefs that are there, as I zoom out and see them, this structure is very limiting. It is a very limiting structure that says that there is a you that hurts a me, or there is a me that hurts a you. And so as I begin to dissolve this, then what can come up is a much less restrictive idea. However, if I'm never actually meeting these beliefs, seeing that they are beliefs, disbelieving them, and then dropping the ideas into presence, then I'm never actually lightening. I'm never actually embodying. The structure of the mind, which is holding my entire reality in place, stays locked into this idea of I am a small human being that can be a victim. And so all of my power is going into that idea. All of my energy is going into that idea. All of my focus is going into that idea. And so to take my power back is to uproot that idea fully and completely, disbelieving it in any form that it shows up. And so it can be very helpful to just begin to recognize, oh, I am the source of all of it. It is all revolving around me. This is a very helpful way of seeing it. Because then it immediately puts you in the driver's seat. There is no more victim. There can never ever be a victim. That is simply a belief. One that you have given a lot of power to. One that you have given a lot of energy to over many, 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 many aeons. And so to take your power back is to disbelieve it in any form that it shows up. There's absolutely nothing in between you and what you are. There's absolutely nothing in between you and your sovereignty. There's absolutely nothing in between you and truth. You are the Alpha and Omega. You are the beginning and the end. You are all of it. And you always have been. So in any form, the idea shows up that there is something other than you. That idea energizes the entire structure of beliefs that you have been giving your energy to, you have been giving your power to, that is so restrictive and disempowering. So in any way that it shows up, if you want to take your power back, and that is where you are moving, that is your pull now, then that idea must be disbelieved. Disbelieved immediately and dropped into the presence which you are. And this, my friends, is embodiment. I hope this is clear. If you have any questions, please feel free to write me, leave a comment. I'm here to be of service. You are so loved because you are love, because you are presence, because there is nothing other than this. Have a beautiful day. I will see you tomorrow.